Okay, first we need to know the basics, right? That is why first I'm repeating again. So next one is we know what are the multiple inheritance. So now we will see what are the access specifiers we have in Java. So access specifiers is access specifiers is nothing but the first one is public, second one is protected, third one is default, fourth one is private. Okay, for public, so what is the purpose we are going for public? So in the previous coding and all, we have used it, right? So see here we have used public. So we'll know what is public access specifier. So actually, it is a global level access. So global level in the sense, there are same packages and different packages will be there, right? So you can see, multiple packages are there. If there is a different packages, I'm going to use it in my project. So it will accept a same package plus different package. And the private is nothing but it is a class level access. You can access data only which is in a class level. So we can't access the same packages or different packages. We can only access a class level. So these are the key points. So please make a note of it. And protected and the default. So default is nothing but it is also a package level access. We can access packages, and then so without access specifier within the package we can access. Okay, without access specifier within the package we can access. So if you're not going to give any package access specifiers, then it will be considered as a default. It's a package level access, and without an access specifier within a package we can access. Within a package we can do it. Okay, and what is called as protected? So protected in the sense if it is inside a package plus outside package. So inside package plus outside package. So both will be applicable in protected. Okay, but it's not a global level access. So these are the access specifiers. In if they ask in the interview session, so you have to answer like this. So it is a global level access, and protected is called inside packages, and default package level access, and private it is a class level access. Okay, and the next important question is the basic question is data type. What are the data types we have? The first one is a data type name is byte. Okay, so the size of a byte is nothing but, one second. This is a data type, size, and then wrapper class. And what is the default value we have for these data types that we are going to see. Okay, so the data type is nothing but it is 1, and the wrapper class that we are using is byte, and the default value for byte is 0. If I'm just giving a byte, so what happened? It will give a value as 0. Okay, and for short, it will be 2, and the wrapper class is short. I'm going to use it as a wrapper class, then it will be short and the value will be 0. Okay, and for integer, so we'll see the real time example. As of now, just know the concept. Okay, for int, it is a size of 4 and the wrapper class is integer and the default value is 0 and L long. So long is again a size 8, long at default value is 0. Again float is a data type and the size is 4. Wrapper class is float and the value is, it is a decimal value, so it will be a default value will be 0 0.0. So I'll tell you the example, okay, once I complete this data type. Next one is double. So double size is 8 and the wrapper class is double and the value is nothing but again 0 0.0. And we have three more things, boolean. So boolean is we don't have any size limit for that, so the wrapper class is boolean. So the first letter will be in a capital letter, okay, and the boolean will be false in default. So and the next character is char. So this is size is empty, and again a wrapper class is character and then none. And here I have something called a string, and so no size is there. So wrapper class is again string, and this is going to be a null. Okay, the default value is null. So did you get what all these things? Yes or no? Yes. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? You know what is data type, right? Okay, I'll tell you one simple example. So how to find the default value. I think everyone is hear my voice, what I'm trying to say. Yes or no? Guys, can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So now I'm going to create one more class. So go here, go to the source folder and create a new class. So I'm going to give a name as some, I'll give it as, giving as test. Okay. And I need a public static void main. So I'm just clicking that and finish. So I have a empty file now. So what I'm going to do is inside this, I'm going to give a data types. First one is I'm giving a boolean as some a value. So that is variable name, and byte variable name. So this is a variable name, whatever you want, you can give it. And then for short, yes. For int, it is I. And for long, it is L. Sorry, yes. So then, and I have something called float, F, and double as D. Okay, this is how I've created. So now I'm going to check what is the default value for these things. Okay, and here I'm creating one empty method. So as display. Method name is display. I'm using some curly brace. Okay, for this method, void method. So within this void method, I want to display the output system.out.println, and the value is nothing but I'm going to print boolean. So this is nothing but a text. So the strings will be, defined with the double quotes. That is the reason I'm giving a boolean within a double quotes. Okay. And I want to display the value default value for t. So just give t and semicolon. So as of now, we'll check. Okay, we didn't give it in the values in public static void main. So we'll complete all these and we'll give the values. So we have to call it. So then only we'll get an output. 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm just changing the name alone. This to be byte and this to be short, int, long, float, and this to be double. I'm changing the values b and this to be s, I, and what is the value for this L? Sorry, F, and for double B. Okay, this is how I'm going to print. So now I want to call this, method in my main method. So I will do that. Just go here. What is the class name? So, yesterday we have understood. So how to create an object, right? So I will create an object. First is your class name. So class name is test, and then you need to mention the variable name. So I'm just giving a, and you need to give the new keyword. So object is a, and new keyword, and then test a class name of, and then now you are going to display the value. Okay, so I'm going to display the value as d dot, sorry, a dot display of. So this is my method name and this is my object. So a dot display. Just will try to run this code. So now you can see the default values of byte, short, integer, long, float, and double. For each and everything, it has been mentioned as 00 and long and 0.0, 0.0. So have you understood, guys, everyone? Any doubts in this? Yes or no, guys? This is all about a data types. You need to know what are the size and what is a wrapper class for this. Okay. And now the next thing is we'll see some a simple coding to how to get the values. Example, if I want to check the range value. So example, I know the bytes, how many bytes it is having, the size, right? But so I need to know the exact bit value from which place to which place. Okay. For that, what I need to do? The first thing is a range formula is minus 2 caps. Sorry, that is, we'll have this cap. Okay. So n minus 1. 2, 2 plus 2 and n minus 1. Minus 1 minus 1. Okay. So this is called as a byte range. So if you are trying to get the values of this byte and short, so what ranges it will accept. So you need to use this formula. Okay. So example, we can take a byte value. For byte, it's going to be 1 byte. I'm considering as a 1 byte. So what happened? It will be a 8 bits, right? So n equals to 8. So what the value is 8. So 8 bits, right? So 1 byte equal to 8 bits. We already know that. So now I'm considering n is equal to 8. So what happened? I'm going to calculate this. So see here. So minus 2 multiples of, right? It's to the power of. So 8 minus 1 is 7. So it will be ranges from some minus 128. So see here. I'll show it in the calculator. 2 into 2, sorry, 1 second. 2 into 2 is 4, again into 2, that is 3 twos now, and into 2, 16 into 2. So I'm telling to the power of the values. Okay, so here it is 32 into 2 into 2. So totally we have to the power of 7, right? So it is 128. And you have to calculate. So the ranges will be the byte ranges will be start from minus 28 to 127. So if you calculate for this, 2, 2 caps 8 minus 1 minus 1. So what happened? It is the value will be minus 2 and for the kids 6, right? So you will get the value of 127. So this is the way you will get the values. Okay, I think you would have understood what I'm trying to say. So values in the sense, if example, if I'm trying to uh, give my output as a byte value, then it will be ranges from minus 28 to 127. So it only accept that value only. So if I use some other values, it will not print the values. Okay. So next, what we are going to discuss is about control statements. So that is again a very important thing, because sometimes in the interview point of view, they will ask you to they will ask you to write a coding using a control statements. Okay. So first we need to understand what is equals to and double equals to. So this equals to is to assign a values. So this is to used for condition checking. So if you are checking some values whether it is true or false, then it is called as a condition checking. Okay, so there are different if statements. So first one is if, and if else, and we have something called else if. Okay, so in if else, the simple program we can see, just go here. I'll create one more class. Just right click on this new class. Okay, I'm going to give a class name as if condition. So actually it is in Pascal, right? So Pascal is first will be the that is all the words. First character will be the caps. Just click on finish and come here. So here you can see the method. So what I'll do is, second, I'll delete this one. So again, I'm trying to create a file. So new class if condition. Okay, and click on this public static void main. So it's a main functions. Without this, you cannot create a values. Okay, so now I'm going to code. So in some interviews, they will be giving like this. So here you will have something, and they will ask you to put the code between this main method. Okay, so now I'm just going to check the employee ID whether it is true or false. Okay, so I'm giving a data type as integer employee ID, and the variable name should be in a camel case. Okay, that we should understand a class name and the the package, the Java package name should be in a Pascal, but your variable name and the method name should be in a camel case. Okay, please make a note of it. And in the employee ID, I'm giving a value as 20. And then in the if statement, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether the employee ID is 20 or not. Okay, just go here, employee ID equals to 20. That is, we are already, we know double equals to is for condition checking, right? So condition checking is employee ID. Just I'll give some values over here. So what I'm going to do is system dot out dot println. So here I'm going to give some text. This is a true value. And again, I'm just copying this, paste it here. Just change this to else. And this is going to be false. It's going to be a false value. Okay, just run this code. See here, yes, it is true because the employee ID is 20. So it matches, so it throws the value as true. If suppose I'm giving like 21, so what happens now? So it is showing a value as false. I hope everyone is clear with this point. So what we are talking about as of now. So now you know what is inheritance, what are the types of inheritance, and what is data types, and we know what is control statements. So we are seeing that. Okay, and what else we have gone through, and what is a byte ranges, how to calculate it, and we also see some examples on data types, and what is access specifier. Okay, what are the different types of access specifier, why we are using it. And this is a simple example for this one, if statement. Okay, and now if I'm trying to check a looping values, if I want to, this is a very very important question, because mostly you will use looping. Because if you're trying to get some information of a database, so they will give some database or values which is they are entering. So it will be looping, right? It will be get iterated every time. So for that reason we should know what is for loop. I hope some people would have already know what is for loop. So keep it as it is. And I'm again creating one more class. So that is called for loop. And I need public static void. Okay, so this is my for loop. I'm just going to print some value as 1 2 3. So till 10 I want to print. So what is the thing is, I need to know what is a for loop. So for loop is printed like this. For is a keyword, and you have to here. This is a syntax. I'll tell you what it is. Syntax is for is initialization, condition, and this is, it may be increment or decrement value. Okay. So first I'm going to initialize a value. So initialization is nothing but equalizing the value. So it is an integer value. So I'm giving integer I equals to 1. Okay, from 1 to till 10 it has to be printed. So I is less than or equals to 10 when I increment. Okay, so this is a condition which is going to check. So I is 1, I 1 is less than or equal to 10, so it will check, and once it is done it will not get incremented. So for loop is, that is, this is called as a post increment, which we already know. So I think I have told you about this in JavaScript. So I plus plus is a post increment. It will increment the value only after the completion of the statement. Okay, so this is how it will do. So now within this for loop, okay, so within this for loop I'm going to print the values. So using system dot out dot println. So here I'm going to give the value as I. Okay, now we will check. So what happens is, first it will see the value of I equals to 1, and then it will check the condition whether 1 is less than 10. So what happens is, so it will check whether 1 is less than 10. So if it is correct, it will print the value. So what it will print the value as 1. And next is, 1 second guys. Okay, so printer is equal to 1. Then only it will get incremented. So once a 1 is get printed, then only it will get printed as 2. So now the I value is 2. So the next step will be I equals to 2 and 2 is less than 10. Then it print the value as 2 and then the I value will be 3. So like this it goes on. So now we'll check the output. So it prints the value from, see here, it starts from 1 until 10 it has printed. Okay, and we have something called as the inner loop. See here, inner loop is nothing but if suppose I'm changing this value to be 5. Okay, and I'm going to create one more for loop. So for loop going to be integer j equals to 1 and j is less than or equal to 6. And I'm giving our one more increment, that is j increment. So I have two loops, right? So 1 second. I have two loops. So first one is this and second one is this. For the first, for the j loop, once the j got completed, it will get the output. So here, just copy this, paste it here and change this to j. So I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. Is there? Okay. Actually, what happened is I'm just going to print the value for this I. Okay. For J, I'm not going to print. So what happened is for this print, ln is just going to print the value for 1. But how many times here it is going to print? That is for this one, 6. Okay. First, it will take 1, and the 1 value will be, see here. So it will take the value 1 and check the 1 is less than 5, and after printing 1, that is it takes the values of 1. That's it. So it will not get incremented. Then it will move on to the J. So J is 1, and it will check 1 is less than or equal to 6. Yes, this is true. So now it will come down. Okay, it will print the value as what? It will print the value as 1 now, and after that a J will get incremented. J gets incremented. So now the J value is 2, right? Then the loops goes on. So this is a outer loop. Guys, please turn off your mic. Yes, please. Who's that? This is outer loop and this is inner loop. So now what happened is in this value, so the inner loop get iterated first. So after iterating, what happens? It goes on like this. So it will check the value for J equals to 2, and 2 is less than or equal to 6. Yes, it is true. So then it will print the value, print it to be 1 because I value is 1, right? And then J equals to 3. So it is goes on like this. Once it is completed, after completing all this 6 condition, it will give some space, println, and move on to the I value. So now the I is 2. Okay, this is how it will check. So now we will check the value, what happens. So now you can see the values. It's nothing but 111, and then 222 and 333 and 444 and 555. So this is how it get printed. Clear, everyone? Any doubts? Sorry, here I need to mention it as a print so that it what happens? It will be like this. It will not create in a separate line. It will be in the same line. So println is a print line. Println is nothing but is called print line. I hope everyone is clear with this inner loop and outer loop. Yes or no? Just unmute and tell me, ma, so that I can understand. Yes, guys, are you there? Yes, guys, did you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, Pooja, Snega Katam, Preeti Singh, Lavanya, Shivani. Is it clear? Give thumbs up so that I can understand. Is it clear for you? Okay, thank you, Soumya Devi. And next, now you can see how we are going to use break and continue. So we already know what is break and continue. So I have already discussed in JavaScript. So now we will go with the polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? and what is the different things is there, and we'll discuss about this. Okay. And I think that is a very big topic, so I have only 20 minutes, so I will go with the strings. So what are strings and how we will print the string. And also I think we'll go with the loop for that is array loop. So we'll complete that first. So I'll tell you the notes. What is array? Okay, this is very simple. So if the question is asked what is array, so you need to mention it's a collection of a similar data. Okay, and the values are stored based on the index. So it will take a values like this of 0. So like this it will take. So the next point is you have to mention the value or stored based on index. Okay, and the next is the index. So that particular index starts from 0 to n. So example is I have some example. See here integer a. If I'm giving an integer a of, so you have to present it like this. So new a of. You have to mention the value. So how much values you are going to print. Okay. And here in this example, so int is called as a data type. We already know, and num is nothing but a variable, and this is called as array. Okay. So next thing is we'll see the simple program using an array. Create one more class. So tomorrow also we'll complete the basic, and after that we will go with the advanced concept like servlet and JSP everything. Okay. So now I'm giving a value as basic array as my class name, and just I checklist on this, I get a new thing. So here I'm going to mention integer. So integer is a data type. I'm going to give a variable name as a of equals to, you need to give that new operator, right? And then how many values you're going to print. So a of, sorry, you need to mention like this, integer of 5. So previously we used to create a class name and then we'll mention it, right? The same way I'm trying to do. So see what error we will get. Okay. And I'm trying to print this system out dot println. So within this, I'm trying to print the value as num of 2. So this is how I'm trying to print. So it's already showing the error. So num cannot. So I didn't give any value for that. I get an output as 0. Why? Because we didn't assign any value. So I'm not giving any value for this a of. So what happened is it will take the default value. So we already know what is the default value for integer. So integer is nothing but 0. So that is how it is printed as 0. So if it is asked in your MCQ, or the interviewer asked this question, so you need to answer. If I'm not assigning any value for this, so I'm not initializing, right? So see, I'm not initializing a values like this. I'm just giving the thing and how many arrays should be there, and I'm trying to print the values. So mostly it will not throw an error, it will show the default value. Okay, so this is also important, please make a note of it. And now the same way, what I'm trying to do is I'm just removing this. Now I am going to initialize a value for each and everything. So a of 0 equals to some 10, and a of 1 equals to 20, a of 2 equals to 30. So like this I'm giving value. Okay, a of 3 equals to 40, a of 4 equals to 50. Sorry guys. So now I'm giving a value like this, and I'm trying to override the value. So I'm just taking a of 2 again. I'm trying to give the value as, so previously it is 30 and I'm giving it as 60 now. I'm just overriding the value. So the a of 2 is overridden. So now I'm trying to print the value. So let's check what happens. So here I'm trying to print the value for a of 2. And I given a semicolon. So now we will check what happens. So if you are running this output, so again you can see the output. So it is accepted the 60. Why? Because in Java, that is especially in array, so it will consider the last line value, last code value. So again, I'm trying to give some other value for 3, and previously it was 40. Now I'm changing it to 70. So now you check for the 3. So I'm just copying this. It's going to be 3 now. And this. So now it is showing the last line code, that is 70. Is guys clear with this concept? I hope everyone is
Yes,
following the
ma'am.
concept. Yes, okay, good. Sorry. Next, if I'm trying to use a for loop, and first thing is I'm going to check the length, how many length I have. Okay, like so we have something called 0 1, that is I'll count it 1 2 3. So I'm going to find the length, how many values I have given. For that, so here it is 1 2 3 and 4 5 6 and 7. So totally I have 7 length. So what I'm going to do is just remove this. So here I'm going to find the length of the value. So for that, integer, I'm giving some variable name, is equals to, I'm going to get the that is here it is a called as an object. I'm giving the variable name. So variable name is a dot length. Okay, to find the length, you should use this length. Okay, so and for what variable you are going to check, for a variable, and you're giving a variable name here. This is how you will find the length. So length is very simple, as we know in JavaScript. So there also it will be the same thing. So a dot length, that is a dot length is nothing but it is initialized to the variable, and we are going to print the value at the bottom. So we are going to print, just we have to give length. So totally it is considering only 7 values because the repeated values will not be calculated. It will accept only the values which is not duplicated. Clear? So if there is some different databases you're handling, there will be a duplications, right? So at the time you can use this method, a dot length. And the next one is you use a for loop. I'll better create. So okay, I'll do it in this itself. So I have something called integer a and new integer. Okay, the values are there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this value using the for loop. So how can I do this? Just remove it. And you should remember, you already remember with the for loop, right? So for loop in between, so within this, you're going to mention integer and the variable is I equals to 0. Okay, the initialization, that is index value is 0, right? And then till what you're going to print is num, that sorry, and to give a dot length. So a dot length plus I increment. So this is how you will print. And I'm opening the curly braces. So within this, I'm going to print a value. So how I will print? Just use system dot out dot println, and within this, I'm going to give a variable name as a of, and you have to give a value as a of I. So the length is how much? It is 5. So a dot length is how much? It is 5. So 0 to 5 it will print. So let's check. So what are the values are there? 10, 20, and for 20 it will only take the last value, that is 60, and for us 50 and 70. So this was the output to print a value. So definitely they will ask you to do the simple code, nothing but they will ask you uh, to use the array, and then after finding the length you need to print the values. Okay, definitely they will ask the simple technique. If you're going for the you're a freshers, right? So obviously they will ask this question. And next we have one more thing which is called as a enhanced for loop. So first we should know what is enhanced for loop. Okay. So what we will do with this enhanced? So in the enhanced for loop is the syntax is nothing but we need to give a for loop, that is for keyword. So within this we need to mention the data type and your variable. So if I'm giving a as my variable, a colon, and what so example, see here I'm giving some variable as b, and here I'm giving a. So now you can clearly understand what I'm trying to do. See here, I'm not going to use any initialization conditions and increment. Just I'm giving a data type, and I'm going to initialize some variable for this array, for this A. Okay. So let's see how we'll use this in the code. So the same for loop, I'm just remove this. Instead of this, I'm giving a for loop and then integer, and I'm going to give the new variable as b colon a. Why a is, so this is a variable, and I'm giving a b variable. So it is taking all the values. Okay, there is, you don't want to use any curly braces here. Understood? So you don't want to create any curly braces, and you need to mention the value as k. Happen. Sorry. So here it is b, right? Okay. So now you can see the output, the same output you will get for this also. This is called as an enhanced for loop. Okay. So and also we need to know what is the advantages of using this enhanced for loop. So it will not have any condition checking, no condition checking, and also a value assigns. And here it is a very fast compared to a normal for loop. Okay, it will be giving a fast values when we compare with the for loop. And finally, we'll discuss what is advantages of array and what are the disadvantages of array. Okay, so advantages of array is nothing but, so if you use arrays for single variable, we can store multiple values. So this is a single data type, right? So using this, you can store a multiple values. You don't want to give an initialization for each and every variable. For a single variable, you can store n number of values. So that is the advantages of array. Single variable can store a multiple values. Okay. And then what is the disadvantages? So disadvantages in the sense, so it supports only a similar data type. So I cannot use any other data type. If example, here I'm using integers, right? So if I try to use some, decimals values, or I'm trying to use some float values, it will not accept. You need to mention that particular data type. Okay. And it is a fixed size. We cannot do anything. And the memory wastage will be high. So these are the key points. So please remember, to overcome these, we go for collections. So we have one more topic that is called as a collections. I need to check whether it is under our syllabus. Okay, and I'll let you know. Okay, so these are the important things we have learned today. So I think I didn't discuss about polymorphism and string. So tomorrow we will discuss. As of now, we'll just have a recap. Inheritance. What are the different type of inheritance we have, and what is access specifier, and what is data type, and its examples. So next class, if you're coming for a next class, please go through all these things. And control statements we know, and we know what is array, and we have gone through the examples. Okay, and just I think it is going to be 8 o'clock. Uh, and tomorrow we will discuss about string. So I'll give small intro. So string is nothing but is a collections of a character. And the topics which we are going to cover is, so what are the important topics is string function, and we'll discuss about a mutable string, And also we'll discuss about immutable string. This is very, very important, and we have something called string builders that will also be understood. But we'll see some one simple example for string. Just right click, new, and go to the class, and I will give a name as string basic. I want this main method. Just click finish. So here I'm going to print some value. So I'm giving a string as string data type is string. Okay, and I'm giving some variable for this like a, and I'm trying to print the name. So I'm giving a name as Sneha. I'm trying to print the value. So system dot out dot println. So here I'm going to mention the value as a. Okay, so you need to give a data type and the variable name, and you have to mention within a double quotes. And this is your output. So println, if you give println, it will be while if you're trying to print the next value, so it will be the next line. So I'm giving us println of EA. Okay, so now we'll see the output. So I get the value as mega. I hope everyone clear till this. Yes or no? So in the starting of the class, one second. And also I'll share this, recordings